Hey guys, it's Marshall Tingle with your Superior Ag Insurance Ringside Report for this past week, the week of November 27th through the 3rd. So before I go any farther, we've got some really important deadlines. I know Ian sent out an email the other day, but I want to hit on them real fast. This year is coming to a close and don't want anybody to miss any deadlines. We got a lot of cool stuff going on, a lot of deadlines that are pretty important. So start off here. December 10th is going to be your end of insurance for your corn and beans. That's the deadline for that. So if you have any claims for anything or anything that you haven't claimed yet, be sure to reach out to Ian and make sure we get that taken care of, or there might be some issues on the backside of that. Now, also, December 15th, it's going to be your wheat acreage reporting deadline. That's both for crop insurance and the FSA, so get that in. Very important as well. And then also don't forget, that's the time that you can put in your cover crop. Your cover crop deadline for the FSA is also December 15th. So two things falling on the same day there. And then as far as starting off the new year off right, January 1st is going to be your tobacco premium is billed. So if you need to pay for 2022, now's a great time to do that. Or if you want to go as far as talk about coverage for 2023, be sure to talk to Ian. He'll get you fixed on that. Let's talk about this cattle market. Big runs last week, which is kind of to be expected. You know, we've taken a week off. Everybody's kind of got hungry for cattle, and it's time to get rolling right back in the swing of things. There's only about 3 weeks left before everybody shuts down for the Christmas holiday, and we welcome in 2023. So we sold 26,220 head of cattle this past week. Now, if you want to compare it to last week, 20,000 head more, which, hey, it's Thanksgiving week. I understand. Now, if you want to compare it to this time last year, there's actually only 163 head difference. We were 163 head lighter this year than we were this past year. Now, because of the light runs and half these barns being closed down for the Thanksgiving week, the USDA and the state they said not enough to compare it to. But from what I can tell you, from where I was sitting on the auction block, the market was very, very strong. Demand is extremely high on these things right now. They're trying to gobble them back up and get caught back up with a little bit of lost ground that they had. So let's talk about this real fast. So your full weight steer cattle, you're looking at $1.55 to $2.20. That's a really good sign. These little light full weight steer cattle are in high demand. Now, as far as your average, I'm actually going to give you a dime. I'm going to give you $1.85 to $1.95. Normally I don't give you a dime, but there's a whole lot of stuff on the top end of these things, and I still want to take into account your variations or your variables for maybe a little bit plainer type cattle, or depending on where your location's at. But $1.85 to $1.95 be a pretty good average on those full weights. Now your five weights this past week, $1.40 to $2. Again, I want to give you a dime on them as well, $1.75 to $1.85. Normally I don't, but in this type situation, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So nonetheless, the market's a little bit stronger, you can tell, on that top end. They didn't call it, but I think it's right there. The proof's in the pudding. Now let's talk about these yearlings. The yearling market was really strong. We saw a lot of loads, a lot of big cattle traded across the state of Kentucky this past week, and those numbers really, really showed it. So let's talk about them real fast. So start off here. Here's 68 head of these. These are blacks and black-white face steers. 815 pounds on the average, $1.80. That is rocking. A really strong trade on an 8-weight steer. Now, I go a little bit heavier. Here's 68 head of these. These are going to be all black steers as well. 830 pounds on the average, $1.77 and a quarter. Still a really strong trade. That $1.80 is outstanding. Kind of makes that $1.77 not look so good, but in the grand scheme of things, it is. It is still really strong. So let's talk about here. Here's 62 head of these. These are going to be blacks and Charolais crosses on this deal. 859 pounds on the average. So getting there in your mid-eights, $1.75.75. Still nothing to shun on. Still right there, competitive. Now go up here. Here's another set of them. Now here's 59 head of these. These are all black steers as well. 883 pounds on the average at $175.70. So right there with them. You added almost 30 pounds on them and still staying right there strong with it. So really good trade. Now let's talk about your heavyweights here. Now here's 126 head of these. Now these are actually 9 weights, but they're light 9s. All black steers, 911 pounds on the average, $1.79.50. That's an outstanding trade on a 9-weight steer calf. He's bringing almost as much as those, or almost as much per hundredweight as those light 8s were, and that's a really, really good sign here. Now let's compare that to your CME feeder cattle index. So your CME feeder cattle index for the week, start off Monday the 28th, you're looking at 178.85. By the time Tuesday the 29th rolled around, you're at 178.40. By Wednesday the 30th, 178.40 again. So a pretty steady day across those 2 days. Now by the time Thursday came around, Thursday's at 179.03, and then we closed out the week Friday the 2nd at 178.14. So a really good trade as we go across and close out our week. So, as always, we just want to say if you have any questions about our LRP policy, a livestock risk protection policy, just want to tell you, just feel free to reach out to us about that if you've got any questions about that. But don't forget these deadlines now, December 10th, December 15th, and January 1st. If you got any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Superior Ag Insurance, call Ian Thomas, 859-613-2453. Check us out on the web, www.superioragins.com. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.